Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is the BG Sports Show, presented by Sports Radio America. I'm Baxter Colburn. Good morning to all of you. It is great to have all of you here with us this morning. It's a short, abridged version of the BG Sports Show, but that's not going to stop us from having all kinds of great fun. A couple things I want to talk about this morning as we hang out for maybe 20 or 30 minutes, depending on how long I feel like hanging out, because I do still have to go to work after this. But I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update of things that are going on and some other great things that are happening in the sports world as well. Did you win the lottery last night? I know I did not, unfortunately. I also didn't buy a ticket, so I guess that's kind of partially needed to win the lottery, is if you buy a ticket. But I did have enough people that knew me that said, hey, you know what, if I win, I will, I'll give you a couple $1,000s, or I'll even give you a little, maybe, $1 million or something of that nature too. So in my opinion, I was pretty well set, regardless of if I had to buy a ticket or not, because sure, I would not have won the $1.5 billion, but still I would have taken a couple $1,000s or even $1 million or two from a friend as well, depending on, who they plan to give the stuff to. So either way, though, you can find us right here on Spreaker.com, and you can also find us on iHeartRadio and on iTunes. Go over on iTunes if you don't mind. Give our show a review. Check us out. Give us some stars if you are so inclined, and let the world know just what you think of the BG Sports Show. There's no Sam Wallace anymore. There's no Grant Coppersmith anymore either. We are in a transition period right now with the BG Sports Show, as we are looking to potentially find a second co-host here on the BG Sports Show, and or decide what is going to make the most sense with the show going forward. I get to start a new job potentially next week, working as an overnight producer for a big radio station here in the Milwaukee area, and I unfortunately have to work midnight to 5 a.m. 4 or 5 times a week on that, and then turn it around and go work from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at my regular full-time job. So not exactly the most glamorous thing in the world, but you know what? That's the type of things you have to do early on in your broadcasting career. You have to prove to the man upstairs that you are willing to grind it out and do whatever you need, so that way you can show the world that you are more than willing to be on the air, on wherever you want to be in your career. So I'm a young guy. I'm still going to go out and do some live broadcasts for them. I've got a high school basketball game that I'm calling this weekend. So if you want to tune in, you're more than welcome to. This Friday night, you can listen on Preps Live or WTMJ.com. And Preps Live, I will have the Arrowhead versus Kettle Moraine, I believe. I think that's who it is. I know it's Kettle Moraine for sure. Pardon me. Goodness. I got to check who the other guy is, who the other team is. So, all right, I want to get to an article right off the bat that a good friend of the show, Connor Christensen, shared with me. And this is the most trustworthy playoff quarterbacks, according to Gil Brandt, who is an NFL media senior analyst. And immediately, oh boy, Gil, look, I'm sure Gil's a great guy, and I'm sure he's done a lot of great things for the sport of football, but looking at this list is very worrisome. Number 8 is Peyton Manning of the Denver Broncos. I'm fine with that one. Denver Broncos, Peyton Manning with Brock Osweiler as well. I'd put them at number 8 just because you don't know what they all are capable of doing at this point in the game. Number 7 is Ben Roethlisberger. If he was a healthy Ben Roethlisberger, I would say that's total BS, but because he is battling injuries, then I agree with that as well. 7 is a good mark because you don't know what you're going to get out of him. You can't really trust him to go forward for you and showcase that he is going to take over a game like we know he's been able to in years past. When you're fighting injury like what he's doing, makes it very difficult for that. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Number 6 is Aaron Rodgers of the Green Bay Packers. And some of you at home are probably going, well, sure, that makes sense. The Packers haven't played well. I understand that, but when you look at who number 5 is Alex Smith of the Kansas City Chiefs. In what universe is Aaron Rodgers a worse quarterback than Alex Smith? Even when Aaron Rodgers had a bad year this year, he is still so much better than Alex Smith, no matter what. Yes, and I understand that the Chiefs started 1-5 this year, and that they rattled off 10 straight wins and embarked on one of the most unlikely playoff journeys in NFL history. That's terrific. Alex Smith was not the absolute catalyst of that entire run of games, though. Yes, he had a huge part in it, But even still, if the game is on the line, if I say, all right, I have to run a 2-minute drill and I need Aaron Rodgers or Alex Smith to march me down the field and win in the playoffs or my team goes home, I am taking Aaron Rodgers every single time. No Packer bias, no none of that stuff. Aaron Rodgers is the better quarterback. So that aspect right there I find a little ridiculous. The rest of the list kind of gets a little hot and heavy too. Number 4 is Tom Brady. Why is Tom Brady at number 4? Tom Brady is 4 for 6 in Super Bowls. He is definitely the all-time best playoff quarterback when you need a game manager, when you have the game on the line. Thomas Brady will go down the field and he will get you that touchdown or get you in field goal range or whatever needs to happen. He's the guy to make it happen. Not Alex Smith, not some of these other guys on the list still. Tom Brady at number 4 is an absolute disservice to who he is as a player and what they've accomplished this year in New England. I don't care if he doesn't have that many options to throw the ball to. I still take Tom Brady over Alex Smith. I'd take Tom Brady over number 3, who's Russell Wilson. I take Tom Brady over Cam Newton, who is number 1. Yes, sorry, spoiler alerts. So yeah, number 3 is Russell Wilson. I understand the aspect of Russell Wilson and the Seahawks being on a hot streak. That's fantastic. Good for them. I'm so glad. Good. Very good if you're very excited about that. That's great. But Russell Wilson is not a better playoff quarterback than Tom Brady. He's not. He's just not. I'm sorry. But once again, if we're basing this purely off of trustworthiness, saying, look, I have 2 minutes to get down the field and I'm down by 5 or 6 points and I need a touchdown, I'm going to give the ball to Tom Brady every single time. Number 3 is Russell Wilson. Number 2 is Carson Palmer. Carson Palmer comes in at maybe that second spot for me, and Aaron Rodgers is 3 for me. So I'm fine with where Carson Palmer is coming in at number 10. I know that he's 0-2 in the playoffs, but this year especially we've seen a revitalized and energized Carson Palmer who's going to take over the playoffs. When he finally gets the opportunity and when Green Bay goes down to Arizona this week, we're going to see a battle. We really are. We're going to see a big battle. People are going to want to see what's going to happen between 2 top quarterbacks, and you never know. Something good could come out of it. I don't know for sure, but maybe we see a great duel in the desert like we saw a few years ago where that was that 54-45 overtime thriller or something like that, where the Cardinals won on that walk-off fumble recovery. So that's interesting. Number 1 on the list, as I mentioned earlier, is Cam Newton. There's as much as I love Cam this year, dab on him, Cam, get after it. Yes, I just dabbed. He's not the number 1 most trustworthy quarterback in the NFL playoffs. So this is a little note that Gil adds to. He said, note that this is a reflection of where these quarterbacks stand now at this moment, with overall playoff pedigree and material less than how they've been playing recently. I understand that, Gil, but you can't write an article with that headline, because then you're creating clickbait, and then people just get mad, and they are like, well, what the hell? Gil doesn't know what he's doing. Which I kind of agree with on this one, because, sure, maybe he means well, but you need to understand that Tom Brady is going to be on the top of this list no matter what. Cam Newton hasn't played in a couple of weeks, neither is Brady. Be that as it may, Tom Brady and company still probably top 2, in the playoffs overall of the 8 teams left. Russell Wilson has turned into a fantastic quarterback. I'm thrilled that Russell Wilson has done as well as he has, but at the same time, that doesn't mean that he's the best, the third best playoff quarterback right now. So I agree with 8 and 7 on this list, Peyton Manning of the Denver Broncos, and I agree with number 7, Ben Roethlisberger. Number 6 is Aaron Rodgers. I don't agree with that. I think he should be higher. Alex Smith at 5. Please don't make me laugh. He belongs at 6. Brady's at 4. I would put him at 2. Put him at 1. Russell Wilson is 3. I guess I don't know where I'd leave Russell Wilson. I'd keep him in the top 4. Palmer's at 2. I'd keep him there. Cam Newton at 1. No chance in hell, Cam. I'm sorry. I love you, bro. You're awesome. Dab on him. But no, get the hell out of number 1. Cam Newton does not deserve to be number 1 on this list. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to look at some other quick news around the sports world, and then I got to duck out of here. So we'll be right back. This is the BG Sports Show. Welcome back to the BG Sports Show, presented by Sports Radio America. I'm your host, Baxter Colburn. Welcome back inside the studio on this chilly Thursday morning. Why is it so cold? Not a fan. Not a fan at all. It's way too cold. I don't like it one bit. I'd rather be down in Florida where it's like 75, and that's cold. I'd rather have a Florida winter right now than a Wisconsin winter. I don't want to be in single digits or low teens. Not happy. Not happy at all. All right, welcome back inside the studio, folks. A couple things I want to take a look at here before I have to jolt out of here and go to work, because some of us have to go to real jobs, unfortunately. But you know what? It's totally fine. Totally fine. Some great articles that I've noticed recently. Side note, if you're an iPhone user and you haven't utilized the news app on your phone yet, you have to, because it is absolutely brilliant. I didn't realize that you could curate it to pretty much give you all the news and information that you ever would want from any media source, no matter what category you want, and you can get it all in one place. You don't have to worry about downloading 2 or 3 different apps. It's beautiful. Absolutely love it, and it's made my sports viewing experience so much easier. What isn't easy, as some folks know, is that the St. Louis Rams have packed up ship and are going to Los Angeles to become the Los Angeles Rams, which is great. Good for them. What is funny about it, though, is that the Indianapolis Colts have zero chill right now, because they are already campaigning to get those St. Louis Rams fans to become Indianapolis Colts fans. The Indianapolis Colts Twitter came out with a message just, I believe it was yesterday, with a picture of the distance between the Lucas Oil Stadium and Edward Jones Dome, which is 3 hours and 48 minutes. It's 240.7 miles. And the caption on the picture said, "We're only a short drive away, #OneFamily." And it says, we've had some at NFL fans reach out to us due to some recent events, .. #just saying. And people have loved this. Some people are a little upset about it. But one bit that's funny about it, though, is that while some Ram fans have responded with appreciation, others had an interesting question. Did the Colts owner, Jim Irsay, vote against the Rams' relocation? That would make, sense for them. Would the Colts want to fight? Say, no, keep them. Why would you, don't send them away. No, he didn't. You done did messed up, Jim, and the Colts PR team. You're trying to go and bring over them, and you didn't even think about that. The only 2 owners that voted against the Rams going away was Mark Davis, the owner of the Oakland Raiders, and that was also Mike Brown of the Cincinnati Bengals. So, just something to keep in mind. The team that you might possibly become fans of now, if you are Ram, possible Colt fans, is a team that voted to get rid of your team. So, keep that in mind as you go through your daily grind, because that's just a little... I don't know. Other headlines here. Giants are expected to promote offensive coordinator Ben McAdoo to the head coach, which is great. Apparently Eli Manning was a big advocate, for that. Conor McGregor's face could end up on the Irish Euro coin, as if he doesn't have enough money. Why not just put him on money? Somebody wrote a letter to an editor in Charlotte asking Carolina Panther players, to not dab during the national anthem. I don't know what this world's coming to. Philipp Lahm, a defender for Bayern Munich over in the Bundesliga, thinks that the Ballon d'Or, which is the best soccer player in the world, is just a popularity contest for strikers, which I agree with. Bill Belichick showed up to a press conference with a serious black eye this last week, and people were a little concerned about it. Belichick said, "I think I'll live." Oh, gosh. Jim Harbaugh is planning a slumber party with a high school kicker recruit, as creepy as that sounds. But basically, he is trying to spend the maximum amount of time at a recruit's house allowed under the NCAA rules, which means a slumber party. I mean, if I had a slumber party, I don't know if Jim Harbaugh would be on my list to come and sleep over, but I'm sure he's a nice guy, get a little fired up, but, maybe play some catchphrase or something with Jim Harbaugh. I could see him freaking out and having a good time. And then another headline that caught my attention this week was the Atlanta Hawks invented their own ruthless version of Uno, and it is absolutely tearing the team apart because they added in another. They took another Uno deck, and they just took out the draw 4s, draw 2s, wild, draw 4s, all that stuff, and they added them into the current Uno deck. So it's basically like roulette, where you're going to be playing who knows what every single time you step into the ring there to play some Uno. And these guys are having a great time, but they are also tearing each other apart, unfortunately. An interesting report that just came out about 25 minutes ago here, according to Pro Football Talk, is that the 49ers have a lot of interest in Mike Shanahan. It has reportedly ramped up. Let's see here. Anything else? Oh, the MLS Super Draft is on today. Check that out. That'll be taking place over in Baltimore. So that'll be fun. MLS Super Draft 2016 takes place today. Let's see here. Drake and Kevin Hart will be the coaches of the two All-Star celebrity teams, so that'll be just a crap show in the bit there. I'm sure that'll be fun. Oh, boy, what else? Anything else here? Texans are likely to release Arian Foster. Wow, isn't that interesting? Well, Arian Foster might be looking for a new home. Same with Johnny Manziel as well, actually. So, yeah. We'll see how it all works. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. You can find the BG Sports Show on Facebook by going and liking the BG Sports Show. You can find us on Twitter at BG Sports Show. You can follow me at Baxter Colburn if you ever want to get a hold of the show. bgsportshow@gmail.com. I think that's about all we got so far. Catch us on Spreaker, iTunes, and on iHeartRadio as well. Thanks so much, guys. Thanks for listening. I'm Baxter Colburn. We'll see you all again next time on the BG Sports Show. See ya! Just kind of sounded like I